then what I will do, let's see. Perfect. All right, I'll give everybody till 11:03, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. So, Chris, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead, show them the update of the live platform that got pushed out today, show them a couple of marketing flyers, the EcoSmart, and then going to turn it over to you so you can share your magic. So for a lot of you guys that aren't fully aware of Chris Lamm is an absolute stud in the mortgage industry. He's up in Redding, California. Him and I have known each other for quite a while. He's been a core coach for how many years have you been one of the highest core coaches over there, Chris? How long have you been doing that?
Probably about a year, 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah. And so Chris and I actually used to coach together. He hit me up to kind of coach him a couple of years ago. We've just stayed long-term friends there. And then he obviously owns a mortgage company up in NorCal with offices all over out there. And, he was, I don't want to say skeptical because I think that's not the correct word, but he was hesitant with all of this, and basically kind of got it installed in his house in January, Chris? January?
Well, it was my best friend that got it installed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got it in there, and then he basically turned on the jets pretty much starting beginning of February, and has been able to, just in 2 months working with Randy, I think get up to, close to 70 grand or something like that in commissions just in 2 months. Is that pretty close, Chris?
A little more than that. So yeah.
Yeah. So, and mind you too, he's not even closing the deals. These are just hands off to Randy. And so I really want to bring this. Now we're going to be going ahead and we're going to be doing these obviously every other Thursday at 11 a.m. That way I know some of you guys have core coaching schedules to be able to do that. So really what I wanted to kind of give you guys is a couple real quick updates. I'm going to turn it over to Chris. So number one thing I want to basically go over is Toby Roberts, who's also one of the owners here at SOAR. She has been really she runs all strategic partnerships, and she's been really working really closely with EPM. So one of the good news we have as an update is obviously EPM EcoSmart is live. They're ready to send in deals on that. And then also, Toby, why don't you, since you did it, why don't you share them the news about the refi as well?
Yeah, so we have a refinance product available live. Your pricing should be in your portals. Outside of that, I don't have a lot of information on it. It just happened about 24 hours ago. So we're really excited to have that as well.
Yeah, and so you guys are familiar with that. That refinance product is basically you can do a rate and term refinance with an FHA loan and be able to roll in up to 20% of the appraised value into the loan amount, and it's still being treated as a rate and term refinance. So as we start to see interest rates continue to come down, what you're going to be able to do is take a client that maybe had a 6.875 interest rate on their FHA loan and be able to bring them down into say about 5.5 or 5.75. Go ahead and actually, in addition to that, roll in energy upgrades. Get them solar panels, get them an EV charger, get HVAC upgrades. If they need a new roof, they can roll that in up to 20% of that, and there is not the hit or cash out. It's treated as a rate and term. So then when they do that, and they also too, for any of the purchases that get done under EcoSmart, they're not going to be affected by the streamline. So I know many of you guys are like, well, what happens if the loan to value is over 100%? You have the ability of doing a streamline through those for you guys on that. So it's going to be an unbelievable project. This thing is going to absolutely crank the second half of the year. As you can imagine, being able to, because Chris, on average, when you're doing these with your clients, now you're in California, which a lot of people aren't in. What would you say is the ballpark amount you're saving your clients on a percentage of their bill? Would you say just ballparking?
At least 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think about that on the refinance product. Say you're going to save somebody $100 on their streamline, taking them from a 6.5 to a 5.5. It's going to excite them a little bit. But then in addition to that, you say, hey, we go ahead, we can use our HEA report. We can go ahead and find out what your electric bills are going to be. So look, you're paying $400 on your electric bill. We can roll this in, solar panels, HVAC smart chip, go through that whole thing. Now we can take you $200 a month off your electric bill and go ahead and give you a 30% federal tax credit of what we roll in. So instead of saving just $100 on a streamline, we're going to save you another $100 or $200 on your electric bill on top of that. And you put in $35,000 of upgrades. Well, cool. Now you're getting a check back for $12,000 in your pocket and your federal tax credit on top of it. So we're going to be doing a completely separate training on the FHA EcoSmart refinance, but many of you guys were asking me, that is live. That is a pilot program thing. So if you have a buddy that's not on the pilot program and he's like, I don't see it, well, it's for that exact reason. So I wanted to kind of tell you guys about that. The other thing I wanted to show you guys is as of today, so one of the bugs that we had to work out, we'll always be very transparent with you. A lot of you guys use Outlook for your emails. Well, basically what was happening with Outlook emails is because of, because of the way the link gets sent over for your portal, Outlook was considering it spam, and it was basically adding a bunch of characters to your magic link. So for many of you guys, when you went to log in, you got the link and you clicked the link and it was saying invalid error. That was not a platform thing. We had to work directly with Microsoft, and we got all of that taken care of. And that was live as of yesterday. So for some of you guys that were delayed getting in your platform, it was because you guys were using Outlook or Microsoft 365, and that wasn't something we could do on our end as a bug. We had to work with Microsoft to get that done. So basically what you guys are going to see here is when you log into your portal, it's very easy to be able to do this, of course. So for any of you guys, and if you don't have an idea of what this is, or you haven't talked to Austin about it, once you actually go ahead and have your CSV file sent over, you can go to app.storenergy. You can come right up here. I'm obviously in. You would just click login, enter in your email address, and within your email address, you're immediately sent an email with your link. It looks just like this. Click on this link, and it's going to immediately go ahead and take you into your platform. So within this platform, what you're going to see is your leads. When you click on the leads, what it's going to be doing is, for any of you guys that are sent over your CSV files, and I believe, Toby, I know some people have started getting them in there, the first ones. Are we thinking what, between Monday and Wednesday, we'll have most of those people in there, correct?
I think so. We're just waiting on one little tech automation that will help us run those very smoothly, but it should be Wednesday at the latest.
Yeah. So, and what you guys will be able to do is you guys will get notified when these actually go ahead and get ran in your status. So what you'll be getting when we start dropping those in there for you guys, what you guys are going to go ahead and see is you're going to go ahead and see an email that'll come across your email, your Outlook. And as soon as this pops up, there it goes. It'll tell you HEA report created for so-and-so. It'll tell you, so that way you guys will know when these are coming in. Simply log into your app. Apps right here. I can see I have 6 of them right here to send. All I have to do is click view lead. Goes ahead, pulls it up. I literally click copy template. It's as easy as that. I go in, I open up a new email, and then here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to literally just go in here and click copy. Boom, everything's in there for it. Then I go ahead, and we even went ahead and put here the client's email address and all that for you. Boom and boom. And now you can go ahead, put here. I would go ahead and I'm going to CC Randy if he's my energy advisor. Click send, and now that gets sent out for us. And those go directly out. So you don't have to worry about creating the email. You don't have to worry about doing that. And then what happens is, whoops, sorry about that. And then what happens is as those reports all get sent out for you guys, what we've done is not only have we given you that, you'll get notified via email when they open up that report. What we really want to use this as a tool for you guys to stay in front of your client. Think of it like HomeBot. So in addition to that, if you guys see, hey, this one hasn't been opened up yet. And how you'll be able to see that is by simply, when you're in your leads, you'll have 4 different categories. Now I have a ton in here, so you guys won't see that many of them, but what you'll see is right here. So these will say, hey, these ones have been sent, but they haven't opened it yet. What we've made it so easy for you is we've actually put all your follow-ups in here for you. So all you have to do is click copy template, send the client the email, follow-up. Follow-up does those for you because we really want you guys to stay in front of that client. And as soon as that client goes ahead and opens up that home energy assessment report, you're going to get notified and you're going to see them appear right here. So you got 4 buckets. Reports ready to send, reports that have been sent but they haven't opened it, reports that have opened it and they're ready for you to connect them with your energy advisor. And then when they become deals, they'll be in here. And then anybody that they haven't opened it over a period of time, they'll go down here into the not interested category. And you'll be able to see everything in there for you guys. So it's super, super easy and clean for you guys to be able to do. And it's all just contained here in your platform. Now, for some of you guys like Chris Lamm, who has a lot of experience, he's going to be able, he wants to run his own energy reports because he understands them. He'll have a button in here that says create a report. That'll look just like this. He'll click on it and he'll be able to create that report. So for some of you guys that are going to be running your own energy reports that have been on the platform for a while, Peter, Chris, Nick Dolan, any of you guys that have been doing it for a while, and after some of you guys have gotten some leads, we're happy to turn that on for you. The reason why we don't want to turn it on initially is we screen all of these. So when we create a report, we go in there and we make sure the report's accurate, it's valid, everything looks good. And so what we've done there for you guys. So that's all being set up. And you guys can just go to app.soarenergy.com. As long as you've given us a CSV file, we'll have those in there for you. Now, for those of you guys that have not sent in a CSV file, maybe you didn't have a bunch of past clients or any of that kind of information, what we do is we actually have gone ahead and created for you guys, and we'll be sending this out to everybody. Let me pull this up here. Yep, here it is. Grab this flyer. And what we've done is we've made it very, very simple for you guys to how to understand how to send in a lead. And what's important to know is, yes, you have all your past clients, which are going to give you guys a great way. I mean, that's how Chris has just been. I mean, he'll get close to probably 6 figures in his first 3 months already. But one of the things that we really wanted to do is every single client, some of the big real estate offices in Arizona and in California, what they're actually doing is every escrow that is opening up, they are going in and requesting a home energy assessment report for the client. And so what we can actually do for you guys, and it's very easy to do on your guys' end. Let me pull this up for you. All right, I see ya. There we go. Okay. So as soon as this pops up on my screen. So we've made a very, very, very simple guide for you guys. That way you can do. So anytime that you guys have a lead, that you guys want to send in a lead, we're going to send you guys this PDF flyer. All you have to do is fill out the lead form, right? Your energy advisor will create the HEA report. You'll be notified via email. You go into your SOAR app and it's right there. You use the template, you send it to the client. When the client opens it up, you connect it with your energy advisor, which Chris will be going over that with you. So it's super easy to do. You just click on the lead submission form right here, pulls it right up, and there's everything you need. And you can say, hey, my client wants to be called. Hey, it's a past client. Hey, they're wanting to do EcoSmart. Or hey, they're buying a new home using conventional or jumbo, and I just want to get them a new one. So it's very easy for you guys, all in one click. And we've also done the exact same thing for past clients. Those of you guys that haven't sent in a CSV file, we tell you exactly what to do right here. And then on the EcoSmart, which we'll be doing another training, we've told you exactly how to do it right here, which I'll be going through right here in a second for you guys. Very, very simple. Pre-approve your client. When you pre-approve them, you can use the EcoSmart comparison tool, which I'll show you how to use it here in a moment. It shows you, is it make sense to do this compared to regular HEA? Then once they've been pre-approved and they find a property, you literally just click that lead form I just showed you, request an HEA report on that property. Your energy advisor will get it, send you that report to send to your client. Once that client goes ahead and opens it, you simply go ahead and connect them with your energy advisor. He goes ahead and does everything for you guys on that as that file moves through the process. You guys have all been trained on EPM, and we made it very simple with those steps for you guys right here. So before I turn it over to Chris, I wanted to show you the EcoSmart tool. So we're going to be, after this call's over, we'll be circling this around for those of you guys that don't have it. It's a very, very, very easy tool. Now, it's important to understand California, Arizona, Florida, Idaho. Those are your 4 markets where we're live on this product. All you have to do on this is, I'm going to go with Chris, and I'm going to say, Chris, in Reading, what would you say is the average FHA purchase price you deal with? What would you say?
$550.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So all you do is put in $550,000. Chris will then simply come in here and put in the square footage of the house. I'm going to say it's 2,500 square feet. I'm going to go in and he's going to pick what county he's in. So what county is that in, Chris?
Shasta.
Okay. So we're going to come down here and we're going to select Shasta County. It's automatically going to change it to PG&E form. It's automatically going to connect this. Now, all he has to do is with his home energy assessment report that he basically has, all he's going to do is on that home energy assessment report, if I'm going to, let's just say I'm going to look at one for an example. What you do is on this home energy assessment report, let me pull one up for you guys so you guys can see one here. Let's pull it. Here we go. So when we send you your home energy assessment report, what you're going to look for on that report is the size of the system. So when we go in here, here's the full report for that client. And what you guys can do is write on this report when we send that to you, right here, they'll tell it to you, but it's going to tell you exactly what the size of the system is. So let's say in this case, I would say it's probably going to be around, probably most of your systems on that size house are about 7 or 8 kW. Would you say, Chris?
Yeah.
Corporate house.
Mhm.
So 7.5 kW system, that's all he needs to be able to do. Clicks FHA comparison tool, it tells him, automatically pulls in what they're going to be paying for their power, says, hey, look, if they do the FHA EcoSmart compared to the regular FHA, they're going to save $201 a month, pulls in the value increase. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, if it's a battery, it's a 5% increase. If it's a non-battery state, which is outside of California, it's automatically a 4% increase. So we see the house value is increasing by $27,500. They get a 30% federal tax credit. So Chris's clients will get an $11,368 check when they file their taxes. Total benefit of 38 grand between the value and their tax credit. That's enough money, just that alone, just between the tax credit and the equity, to buy the new iPhone every single year for the next 32 years. Then on top of that, they're also going to be saving $106,000 compared to what their electric bill would be versus what this total mortgage will be over the next 10 years. Massive value. That's why Chris is crushing it with this. Then it does the comparison. It says, hey, look, if this client was going to go regular solar, regular FHA loan, there pulls in their electric bill. Chris, would you say about $500 a month is about the average electric bill you're seeing ballparking on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it pulls it in. So it says, it is our job. And this is the one thing that we really all have on this call as a fiduciary responsibility. And this is what's going to change it. I knew this is what changed it for Chris. It's what changed it for me. We think about this. When our clients request as a loan officer and they buy a house, we hook them up with an insurance agent. Well, many times you can get them 2 quotes. Hey, you know what? First one came in at $140 a month. Let me see if we can get a little cheaper one at $110 a month. And we do that for them because we feel a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that we get them a good insurance quote. However, our electric bill is 4 to 5 times higher than the insurance payment, and we just completely ignore it. We just completely ignore it. So we need to understand as a loan officer, as a real estate agent, the client's buying a house, or no different than if it's a past client. If you found out through your insurance agent, hey, by the way, all of your clients in Reading, their insurance rates are going to triple with you. And they told you, you would reach out to your clients and be like, hey man, your insurance bill is going to go way up. Let me see if I can't find you somebody. You have a fiduciary responsibility to do that, to get that reoccurring. But yet when it comes to the electric bill, you just ignore it. So in this case, we have a fiduciary responsibility to not only make sure we're getting the best mortgage product, but we let the client know what their electric bill is going to be on that house. And in this case, it's about $530. So this client's payment, PITIE is what I call it, or pity payment, right? Principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and electric bill will be $4,055. Using this EcoSmart, they're rolling into the mortgage the 30 grand for the system. Their new payment is $38.53. And the best part is that payment's fixed and it'll likely go down when you refinance. PG&E has been raising it, what, close to 20 to 30% a year, right, Chris? Yep. So you can see on Chris's client, he goes over this with the client, hey, I can save you $200 a month right off the bat in your bill. Then we're going to get you about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac both give you a 5% increase for the battery. So we're going to get about $27,000 of built-in equity. And then you get a 30% federal tax credit. So we're saving you $200 a month, and we're going to be putting $11,000 of your $19,000 down payment back in your pocket, making an effective cash spend of only $7,800. All done for you right into this system. And it can do the same thing, obviously, for refinances when we create that for you guys on that. But that is that value that even if, let's just say for an example, in a market like Arizona, I'm just going to use. And let's say you're in a market with Arizona, and let's just say here, you know what? We're going to say they're not even going to necessarily save a ton of money, right? Let's just say on this one, we can see in Arizona, they're saving about $118 a month, plus the value's going up, plus they're getting a $7,800 tax credit. So they're putting back in their pot, instead of paying 19 grand, their effective down payment's 11,400. So even in states, for an example, even if there's close to no savings, what homeowner, like in this case, it's 80 bucks, right? But they're still getting 9,700 bucks as tax credit back. The value is going up. It's a no-brainer in all these situations that it works in. So I want you guys to start really understanding this, because now one of the most searched terms in California is, what is my electric bill going to be on the new house I buy? It is a major, major concern. And that's exactly what our home energy report can do for us. So for every single one of your clients that you open up escrow for, and we show you guys right in here, all the different utility companies, order the report, send it to the client. It'll tell them right on the bat, you're buying this house. Okay, cool. Your bill's gonna be 152 bucks a month for an example. I just pulled this one up. It's a small house, right? But that way you're providing them something of value. And this is where I really feel like what we've done, and we'll kind of share this stuff with you. We put down for all of you guys in California what the expected savings is by just switching, even if they don't want to buy solar and they just want to switch the utility company. We've also done it for you in Arizona. Said, look, here's about what they're paying. Here's where we can get it down to. We've done it in Florida for you guys. We've shown you guys right. We put a bunch of marketing materials together for you guys, so you guys can actually really have some stuff to go take it home. So put your guys' questions, in the chat, but I really want to turn this over to Chris, because honestly, I don't just say it because, him and I have become good friends, but this dude is a savage, like an absolute savage, and he has figured this out. I don't know if Randy is on the call or not. I'm not sure if he is. I don't think Randy's on the call, but Chris Blank is, which is one up there. And Chris, you just kudos for me, man, because you really not only just took this, but you actually really made it a part of your business. And like he was saying, I mean, he's going to be probably 6 figures in his first 90 days because he figured this out. So Chris, I'm going to go ahead and just turn it over to you, brother. And, why don't you just kind of share some best practices with people?
Sure. You guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Brian, thanks for that introduction. So I think I want to go back to when I met Brian, because I think it's important. I have worked with a lot of loan officers. Like you said, I'm part of the core. And I know that a lot of loan officers that I've talked to about this, it's like, it's almost kind of hard to understand it. And so when I looked at this was, last year we were dealing with high rates. I knew that these rates were going to make our market tough. And I was like, man, we have got to find a way here to solve our client's problem. Out here in California, we have all kinds of problems. I mean, the inventory problem we've had it for a long time. And so I start looking at the ADU thing. We get some loans, we can finance ADUs, but we were really kind of too early to that because the cost of construction was really high out here. And so Brian and I start talking about SOAR. And, at the time when he shared it with me, it was basically what you guys just saw. It was a long time ago. The tech is so much better now. I was like, well, bare minimum, this home energy assessment report, it's going to be a really awesome value add to my home buyers, to my realtors, and to my past clients. I was like, I didn't actually understand the opportunity, to be very honest with you, partly because Brian he talks so fast. I was like, it sounds great, man. Send me the password and login. I'll take a look at it. And so basically what happened was I started sending this to my clients. Now, one of the things that's really unique about being a lender, if you've been a lender for a while, or a realtor for that matter, is we all have a very unique relationship with our clients. Our clients call us to run things by us. Hey, I'm thinking about getting solar. I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? And that's one of the best parts of this job. And so I've had people call me for years running solar by me. And many times I looked at these Mosaic loans or these Everbright loans or these leases, and I said, well, how long are you going to live there? Well, man, unless you're going to live there for 10 years, I wouldn't do it. I know your bill's going up. I know they turn your electricity off when they think there's going to be a fire and your wife has to roll a generator out the garage and turn it on. I get it, but man, the numbers don't look great. And so I sent the report out to some buddies. Long story short, I had my best friend that lives right down the street from me. He's like, hey, I'm looking at this. I want to do it. I said, cool, man. I need someone to test it out. It sounds really good, but I want to know play by play how this goes. And so he signs up, he goes through it. And in the end, he was like, man, I'm saving about 50% on my current bill. And this was last year. And so, he's probably saving 75% now with the raises that they've just done. And he said, but I would have done it for the battery backup systems alone, just because we're not going to have to use our generator anymore. I was like, oh, that was really cool. And he just gave me great feedback. He's like, Randy was incredible. I learned a lot from him. And so, I had like 7 or 8 people like that I slowly kind of trickled into. And this is before I even knew that I was going to get an affiliate paycheck. I was just doing this as a service to my friends. And so, now what we're doing, I think it was probably about 2 months ago that I really caught on to this, because, when we send this out to our clients and we get someone to take a hard look at it, we literally sign up. I don't know if Randy can confirm this, but it might be 98% to 100% of the people that get on the phone with Randy sign a contract. Like it's that.
Yeah,
It's
Randy
that.
said, Christy, to your point, he said that when you connect him with somebody, 75% of the people get on the phone with them. And of the people that get on the phone with them, 100% of the people want to do it. And about 90% of the people do it just because some people, for whatever reason, house was too small or something else like that. But he says
Yep.
if you get him on the phone with them, he's closing them almost every single time.
Yeah. And so I think the important thing for lenders, for those of us where we make most of our income from loans, the really important thing to know here is what they've done is they've built a process for you that isn't going to take you away from your business. And that's what I was telling Laura yesterday. I was like, the cool thing about this is these are the people you're already talking to. You're talking to realtors like in the core. We call 40 realtors on Monday. We call past clients on Thursday. All you're doing is adding this to the conversation as a value add. They built this system to where you just saw it. You send them a report, you follow up with them, everything's built, you tell the realtors about it, they send you an address for a house that they're showing to a client, and you're solving problems. And so that's the most beautiful thing about this is none of us have time to go out and start a whole nother business right now, but they've really created this process where all you're doing is adding more value to the people you're already talking to. And so, we started really by sending our past clients the report. And I want to kind of take you guys through my process to where we're at today. And I started telling my friends about it. Friends were signing up, and I kind of went into it a little bit slowly. And once we started talking to realtors about it, I think last month I had 3 contracts where, out here in California, we're not just dealing with prices and rates, but we have what's called California Fair Plan. Most of the legacy insurance companies have pulled out of California. So, Farmers, Allstate, all these insurance companies we used to be able to get insurance for just a few years ago to help our buyers buy homes. If you're in an area that's not like right in a city, you have to go with state insurance, and it's like 4 to 5 times the cost of normal insurance. So people that are buying homes in these PG&E areas, these Edison areas, they're just getting hosed before they even look at the utility bill. And so I start calling the realtors. I'm like, hey, this will help you sell some homes. And they give me some addresses. I remember I called a guy down in Napa. I said, hey, here's what we're doing. He just gave me an address right away. I put it in. I sent them a report. Randy called me 2 days later. He said she's signing it for the house in Napa that she's buying for $800,000, and she asked if she can do it on her house she's moving out of in Vacaville. She did both. I'm like, wow. And so last month I had at least 3 clients. They would not have closed on the property if we didn't offer a solution to get them solar, a battery backup system. And one thing you missed, or at least I didn't hear you say it, Brian, is we need a lot of new roofs here. And so he was able to replace a roof that was like 22 years old. It barely had any life on it. And so these realtors in my market, even if we're not doing the Eco Smart Mortgage, which I think we're going to do a lot more of as awareness gets out there, just doing the powered up network right now with real estate agents to show them how they can help their buyers navigate buying homes when it's really expensive right now. It's been a big deal for us. And then right now we're using a lot of technology to reach out to our clients. There's some amazing tools out there that we can use. But I will say, like the commissions, I didn't even ask about. I asked Randy last week. I said, hey, just out of curiosity, what are these commissions? I literally didn't even ask about it till last week, because I was doing this because it was a great tool to close more loans and help our realtors. I was blown away with what we were doing. I got on a call with Peter Galvez last week, and I mean, it just opened my mind to this. So if you're on this call and this is really outside the box to you, and you're like, what is this, like a multi-level marketing company? It's not. Like, this is a really cool opportunity. And I'm really excited to be a part of it. I've learned a ton about green energy. I told Brian more than I ever wanted to know. But you know, California, I mean, right now, if you're a lender in California, this is definitely the best state to be in. I mean, I think Arizona is great. Florida is going to be awesome. But for us right now, there are so many people that have looked at solar, and they've looked at these options that are predatory basically to get solar, and they haven't been able to. I mean, it's sad for me because I'm in a small community, but I think our lending office here, we have more solar projects than probably every solar company combined in our area. And we don't even do solar, you know? And so the technology and the way that we
Chris, did
approach
your
this,
camera die? I think your camera died.
did it? Okay, let me see if I can turn it back on. You guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can all hear you. Everyone's just saying they miss your beautiful face. So
Back-to-back Zooms, man. These things only last so long.
yeah. And I think to Chris's, there you go, Chris. Perfect.
Go ahead. You were going to ask a
No,
question.
I was going to say is, and that is the other thing that most of you guys have to understand is to Chris's point, is he incorporated it into his process, whether it's a purchase, whether it's a refinance, whether it's reaching back out to his clients. And so, Chris, let's say so they can get a real granular understanding. Just walk them through. Let's say, you know, I'm your new buyer, right? And let's just say I'm even doing a conventional loan. I'm not even doing the FHA loan. Just gonna walk them through, whether I'm a new buyer or a past client, what your process kind of is from requesting the report, sending out the report, and doing the follow-up, and then you're really done. So why don't you just kind of walk them through that?
Sure.
Because you really nailed it and managed to do it. I mean, to be honest, you and Peter, the amount that you guys are doing, and you guys aren't even doing solar. You guys are, you know, your mortgage volumes stayed up, if not gone up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So let's talk about the buyer. So when I still meet with my clients, I either meet them in person or on Zoom. I do loans in all kinds of states, but a lot of business in this town, they like to come in the office. And so when I'm meeting with a client, I'm always going to ask them where they're buying now. What area are you looking at? And if they say in the city of Reading or, you know, in the city of anything, then it's probably, it may or may not be as good of an opportunity. But for people that are trying to get out of town and get a little bit of land, I'm always going to tell them, hey, I have this home energy assessment report. I'm assuming you know what's going on with electricity right now. They all do firsthand. They say, cool. This wasn't something you needed years ago, but it's like a home inspection report now. The seller is not going to tell you what their utility bill is, but I have a way where you can know it. And I also have a way where you can figure out all kinds of federal incentives where you can actually buy that house and get solar installed within 60 days of closing. It's the best thing I've ever seen. There's 3 of the girls in my office doing it. Every person I talk to is doing it. I would do it myself if I wouldn't have gotten solar in 2018. In fact, I'm probably going to upgrade my system because it's so good. So all I need is the address, how many people will move in the property. I'll tell your realtor this too. And any home you look at, let's figure out what that electricity is and make sure you know what your options are. They're like, I mean, I've had a couple clients. I mean, you want to talk about taking rate shopping off the table? If you add value like this to your clients in that first meeting, they're not going to talk about rate because you're doing something that is truly a value add that nobody else is doing. So that's how I do it with a buyer. Now with past clients, what we've been doing, and we're trying to perfect.
Chris, to that extent, so when you go ahead and do that, then you just, Chris runs his report, but in you guys, in your case, you would just use that form I showed you, fill out that form, goes right to your energy advisor. Your energy advisor then sends you over the report with the email to that client. Now, and then Chris, once that client gets that report, kind of walk them through on how you put them in touch with Randy, because you've done just, I mean, like I said, his close rate's 90% when Randy gets them on the phone. So why don't you just kind of quickly talk to them about that part?
So I'll tell you about the one that comes to mind. And this one is the only client that has ever been a little skeptical. And I think it's a good story. So I have this gal, she's going through divorce. She's buying a manufactured home. And I tell her about what she can do. She's on, you know, she only has so much income. So she likes the sound of it. And she's going to close next week. She calls Randy, goes through everything. Randy calls me last week. He said, hey, you could have told me that she was the head of the electricity department in the city of Reading. I said, oh, minor detail. I'm so sorry. And so, but I have so much faith in Randy that honestly, there would be no curveballs thrown at him. The guy knows his stuff. All of these energy advisors, they're so good at what what they know. And so anyways, you know, for her, this property would not have made sense. I mean, it's probably a $500 bill. I've got clients that have $1,500 PG&E bills. But for her to get that down to 250, to be able to add all of this to the property, you know, up here we have the brownouts and the blackouts because of the fires. With the battery system, they're not going to have to worry about, you know, using flashlights when that happens 3 or 4 times a year. So that's one that comes to mind.
That's awesome. And so, and now most of the time when these clients, when you're sending them then the report, and then they obviously open that report, which you get notified of, you're just simply either putting a 3-way text together with Randy or an email, or
Yep.
kind of tell them what exactly you're doing on that,
Yep.
because you've just done a fantastic job.
Well, just to give you guys an example, I mean, I have 700 past clients right now in PG&E with no solar and I'm reaching out to about 30 or 40 a day. So we're using all the templates you guys have seen. I'm actually using some really awesome tools with personalized video emails that we can talk about on another mastermind call. The technology available with tools like Go High Level, where you can send a custom, you know, video to their phone with the home energy report right to it, where you say their name. It's incredible what we can do. And we've been testing a lot of things. But right now, what we're doing is once we have people respond to it or open the report, we have a follow-up text and a follow-up email. And when they say something like, I'm interested, but I've looked at solar before and it never made sense, or I had a guy yesterday say, it sounds too good to be true, because I'm doing a bunch of voicemail drops right now with Go High Level. You know, we call him, we say, yeah, that's what I thought too. All you got to do is talk to this guy. He's not going to sell you on anything. It's totally legit. I'm just telling you, take the 15 minutes and talk to him. They all say yes. We do a 3-way text, give them a Calendly link. I usually tell them that this guy's talking to people all over California all day long. And so you need to click this link and grab a time with him. And they do. And usually they're super happy. I'll tell you a story. So I have a guy at my church. He's a police officer. His wife's a teacher. And they came to me about a month ago and they said, hey, we really need to talk to you. I was like, okay, what's going on? Well, we need to do some repairs at our house. We've accumulated some credit card debt, which is most people right now. And I said, okay, where do you live? He said, Palo Cedro. I said, do you have solar? He said, no. We looked at it before. It didn't make sense, but our PG&E bill was $1,200 last month. We couldn't believe it. This was in January. And I said, I have something I can help you with. And so last week we sat down with them. Not only did they get, their roof was like 22 years old. They got a giant house. We got them a new roof, solar, a battery backup system. Randy said it's a giant system they're getting. And then I got them a HELOC to pay off the debt. And then I basically designed this thing. I said, okay, if you're saving $600 a month, which is 50% of what you're paying now, let's create a path where we take that $600 a month and we pay this HELOC we pay the HELOC off over 18 months. And so now he's not going to need to pay for the roof. So he only needs to take a HELOC for $30,000 to do the things he needed to do around his house, pay off some debt. And dude, he thinks I'm a genius.
And how he's able to do that, so you guys are aware of it, with the powered up network, or what's basically called, is you're just switching a utility company, right? So he's taking from PG&E and he's switching it to the powered up network, or there's Light Reach in Arizona. And by doing that, we actually, and they say, instead of paying 50 cents for every unit of energy to PG&E, we're going to be able to set you up for 28 cents on the powered up network. But if you want a roof, we're going to set you up and you're going to pay 32 cents to the powered up network. So you're still going to save 30-40% off your bill. And what we're going to do is we're going to use that couple extra cents per watt that you're paying for, and we're going to use that. And rather than putting it in our pockets, Randy's going to buy you a new roof. So these homeowners, they are not taking on debt. They're not taking on a loan. They're not doing any of that. It's no different than if PG&E knocked on their door and said, hey, we're going to actually install solar panels, a battery, and we'll replace your roof. And instead of you paying 50 cents from us, we're just going to charge you 31 cents, and we guarantee it won't go up more than 2% a year versus the 18 to 20%. So that's why people think it's too good to be true. But the reason why that is there is the federal government is under a mandate that by 2030, they got to get 30% of the US on alternative energy. And so what's being offered right now is kind of like what the PPP loans were to self-employed people, you know, back when that happens. Because the need is there from the government side, basically the government stepping in and writing a big check. So go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I don't know why my camera keeps cutting out. Probably because I've done 3 Zoom meetings already today. Yeah. So, I mean, those are the ways that I've been doing it. You know, this FHA EcoSmart, it's going to be a big deal. I think there has to be more awareness out there with the real estate agents. I think that's going to be key for that to happen. Obviously, real estate agents are a little distracted right now. And so I really believe that we need to learn that. We really need to understand it, because I can look at every profile of any client that's bought a house this year with FHA out in an area with PG&E, and it would have made sense for them. But we really need the realtors to become aware of it. And I think we need rates to come down just a little bit. And that thing is going to take off. I don't know if that's what you guys think, Toby and Brian, but that's kind of my thoughts on the EcoSmart.
Yeah, 100%. And Peter Galvez, Pete, if you can unmute yourself, I know you're on here as well. Peter Galvez just put his first EcoSmart loan in today. Peter's been absolutely just murdering it. He's been doing it for a long time because I've seen him before. So, Peter, if you can hear me, unmute yourself if you're not on the other line. I'd love for you to get some feedback to these guys as well.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Cool. Well, I'm going to give actual credit to my assistant Naz, who's on this call, who actually had a purchase and converted them to the EcoSmart. So I won't take full credit for it, but we do have our first EcoSmart going right now. Like I said, I had a call with Chris about 2 weeks ago and just kind of put it into, mortgage terms. When I talk to people on the loan side, loan amount is how we get paid in loans. System size is how we get paid in solar. Interest rate is in loans. Price per kilowatt is in solar. YSP is in loans. EPC is in solar. Loan level adjustments is in loans. Adders is in solar. So it is very, very similar to loans. I treat everything like a refinance, but instead of somebody sending me their mortgage statement that has a 30-year fix, they have an adjustable that goes up every single month with no cap. So I really take the same approach as I would when I do loans. Very humbly and, with a lot of work, I was able to make a little over $280,000 in the last 75 days with SOAR. And, I'm here at North Valley Power. So I'm sitting down in their office and, trying to learn more. But, ultimately at the end of the day, it's just about putting in effort, trying something different, and just realizing that the consumer doesn't have choices. I put together a PG&E video that I did for Next Door. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, Brian.
I did. It was fantastic. And I can share that with you guys too. And into that credit, Peter, I know you're doing a lot of stuff with realtor awareness too, that I know you're willing to share. Why don't you I know you're going to do some realtor lunch and learns on EcoSmart. Why don't you kind of touch on that too? Because you're doing some really cool stuff.
Well, here's the thing. Let me try to see if I can put this phone on real quick. Everybody's struggling in the real estate loan side, whether it's financially or they made a lot of money and they just didn't pay their taxes. That's just kind of the story that I'm hearing with agents. And so what I tell agents is these clients are going to do it with or without you. It's just, if you educate them, then you'll be the first one to be an advisor for them. With NEM 3.0, I'm not sure if everybody's really aware of the difference, but with NEM 3.0 in the month of April, if you have solar without a battery, you're getting credit for less than 1 penny for about 7 out of the 30 days. And so if you thought that people thought solar was a scam before, just wait to see what's going to happen this summer when people finally decide to go solar and they finally reach out to someone. But because a $16,000 system now costs, $30 with a battery, and then another $15,000 10 years later, another $10,000 10 years later, they're not going to tell them about the battery. I've seen multiple proposals lately where they leave that key information out. And I tell people, I tell these realtors, whether you're making money or not, be an advisor for them. Educate them. What would happen if you knew that your friends, family, and people were going to get scammed, right? And whether it's intentional or unintentional, you create awareness. And with that, once these realtors understand it, and they understand that you can make money on it, we've never been able to go to a realtor and offer a way to make them money from what we do. It's called RESPA violation, right? Some people may have done it under the table. I don't know. I've never done it. But these realtors, once they get it and they understand it, you basically have a whole entire army. I have a small mortgage company, but I have a humongous solar company because I have realtors, loan officers, friends, family. Once you create awareness of what's out there and people understand what is about to happen to their family, to their friends, to their clients, And I joke around. I call my agent sometimes. I go, hey, you know, Brian Decker, you sold him a house. Just, you know, I'm going to call him with or without you. But if you put in a good word for me, I'll probably be able to help him a little bit easier, and I'll be able to offer you a little bit of a commission. I say kind of jokingly, but I have people all in, all on board. We're building funnels in order to capture it. The way that store has adapted from day one to now, trust me, it's game over. It's game changer. Just know that if you're on this call, it's for a reason. They put in a lot of work, and you are finally able to sell people or offer people something that they haven't been able to have before. And our competition is door knockers. That's it. You know, like Chris said, you don't get shopped. I don't get shopped on solar. And if I do, I love it because it's from a door knocker that might do 2 deals this month and he can't wait to hit a grand slam, you know, on this deal. And when I offer it to him, I just make him look even better. So just if you can learn it, there is an educational video I put out. Even the people that are in solar, once they heard from that point of view, they never really understood it. And they're like, wow, that's a totally different spin to it. Just know that it's phenomenal. This FHA product is going to completely change everything. Imagine if you can offer a 2.9 FHA rate and no one else can. That's how you have to look at it, because you're going to fix a problem that's going to bleed forever and no one else can offer it. If you're lucky enough to be on this call, Brian has handpicked you, or you have an opportunity to, you know, be mentored by someone. But it's an absolute game changer, and it's absolutely changed my business. I mean, I've never made $250,000 in 70 days on 20 transactions. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, no,
I was going to add just one thing to that. Sorry about the camera, guys, but
what I
think you
did,
can
just so
hear
you
me.
guys know, I dropped Peter's video in the actual chat here. If you guys have not had a chance to watch it,
Financial issues since the buyout.
So I was just going to say one thing to what Peter was sharing. You know, with this whole thing with NAR and you know, how lenders have been commoditized to a rate over the last couple of years, you know, this might seem really weird to you, but it shouldn't be, because this is part of somebody's house, right? This is part of us helping people take care of their finances. And I really kind of caught this the last week with this whole NAR thing, that we really have to be someone that offers real solutions to our clients. And I honestly believe it's the future of our business, where we're not just giving them a loan. Like, we have all kinds of tools, and we have this ecosystem, if you will, of ways that we can help people improve their home, save money, build wealth. And so that was really the mind shift for me, because I know a lot of loan officers are going to be like, kind of with tunnel vision. All I know is a refinance, a streamlined market, a purchase market, and they're all scratching their heads right now trying to crack the code. And I just think with technology and with the things that are happening right now, and definitely after talking to Peter, like, this totally fits what a true professional loan officer in this next generation is. And so it's been a real mind shift for me too. And I'm really excited to see where things go from here. The last thing I want to say, guys, is just that the technology that these guys have rolled out. I don't know if anyone knows this, but, you know, Brian's brother was part of ChatGPT, and the guys at Avail. These are some of the smartest businessmen I've ever met in my life. The stuff that they're rolling out and the stuff they're always working on, it is absolutely game changing. I've never seen a tech stack like this. It's better than most of the stuff in lending. And it's just a really cool group to be a part of. And I think you guys are going to learn a lot from these guys if you guys jump into this like I have.
And thank you so much, Chris and Pete, for being able to do that. And one of the things we're going to be going over on next week for you guys is there's a really cool thing. I mean, it's actually what I'm doing my keynote on for UWM Live this year, and it's called Tavis. I'm going to show it to you guys. This is not something to do with solar. What this basically is check it out. It's tavis.io. What you can literally come in here and do is it actually makes a full AI version of yourself. And I'm not talking like, oh, a little bit. I'm talking a full replica. So all you have to do is create a replica by coming into here. So what I did is you record a 2-minute video. And what it does is it makes me a full replica. So this is not me right here in any way, shape, or form. Like, yes, it is me, but no, it's not. And this is the AI version of me. So all I ever have to do, once I've created that replica, I literally come in here and click video. And what I do is I literally can upload. You can see all the videos I've created. All I do is hit create video. I pick the replica of myself that I want to use that they created for you. I choose the replica and I come in here and we've created all the scripts for you guys. And so all I literally have to go ahead and do is I come in here, I have my script, I come in here, copy my script, put it in right here, change my client's first name right here. So if it's Blaine, change to Mark, and then I literally hit next and it makes that video for me. And it's a full video of me talking to my client, going over that every single time. So you can use this for refinances, purchases, reaching out to agents, reaching out to LOs. So I'll give you guys a little sneak peek of it. It's tavis.io. Check it out. It's like $80 a month. It's super cheap. You can make hundreds and hundreds of videos with it. And all you have to do is film that one video. So it's some really, really cool stuff here, guys. But I will go ahead. I don't want to take up too much time. We try to keep these at 45 minutes or so. Peter put his cell phone number in there. I know Chris, I'll put his email in there. These guys, I linked the two of them up. And you also have to understand specifically, this is making its way through. California is just the first. Starting in 3 months, on top of the normal electric bill, people are going to be charged based on their income level as being an adder to the bill. So if you make over $180,000 a year, and how they know this is you file your state income taxes, and so they're going to do something called income-based billing. And so this is out there. So I just check out the video I just put on Instagram, but it's no joke. They are literally, and trust me, they are not the first state that's going to be doing this. So here's the latest bill. California's concede. So if you make over 180 grand a year, you're going to get $128 a month fixed charge added to your monthly bill on top of it. Okay. And so it's crazy what people are doing. And this is just the beginning of it. And trust me, California is just the first one of being able to do it. So the only time people aren't going to be seeing this is basically, people that, even this one, a single parent with one child in an apartment earning $40,000 is going to be forced to pay a new fixed charge of $73 a month on top of her bill. It's insane, guys. And this is going to make its way all the way through it. So if you guys have questions right now, feel free. You guys can raise your hand. Me, Pete, Chris, whatever. And we're happy to answer any questions. And if you guys don't have any, we'll let you guys have the rest of your day back. I'll give everybody like a minute or two. And then if you guys don't have any, we can go ahead and do that. Let's see here. Sweet. All right. Give me at least a thumbs up if you thought that was valuable from what them doing today. I want to make sure you guys definitely, they shared some best practices with you guys. Cool. Sweet. So really so Eric, the video is called Tavis, TAVUIS.io. I just put it in there. So that puts in there. And Taylor Greer, shout out to you, man. Taylor Greer's been a stud too, with stuff. Him and Chris Blank have been working together. And mind you, these energy advisors we have in here, like, for example, Chris Blank is one of our top energy advisors. We handpicked these guys. Chris, why don't you just tell them a little background of your solar? I want you guys to understand who we have on here. These guys are not a door knocker that's been selling solar for 3 months. So, Chris, why don't you kind of fill them in on your background a little bit?
Yeah, I started in solar about 12 years ago, working for Solar City, which was eventually acquired by Tesla and Elon Musk. Worked with that company for about 6 years, and then started working with a huge 30-year roofing company and solar company for about the last 5 years. And then I've joined Brian's team over a year ago. With SOAR. So about 12 years of solar. Never thought I'd be in this business as long as I have. Thinking about this business is it changes daily. I mean, like Brian just showed you you can find a new link on new reasons why to create urgency for clients every day on how, rates are going up. They're changing billing. I mean, every day their technology changes. So, I mean, you really have to stay on top of your game in order to know everything about this industry and learn every day. And that's what all these energy advisors that we have on our team, they're all professionals. They all know their stuff. I've done, I think usually about, this morning I was doing math, about 1,800 installs over my career. So, I've worked on the roofing side. I've worked on, the solar side, the battery side, every part of the industry. So, it's constantly changing. Always, hit up your energy advisor for any information. I mean, we're just here to help and give you enough knowledge for you to be knowledgeable to your client, but to if you have any questions, there's a million things out there. So just ask us. And if we don't know the answer, we'll find the answer. You know, one of us on the team knows. So it's a great opportunity. PG&E California just keeps making our job easier by rates going up dramatically. And you know, if you have clients that don't have solar, like it blows my mind why they haven't done it yet.
Or even if you guys don't have it on your house, hit up your energy advisor. You know, they can hook you up on a deal to be able to do it. That's a great experience to be able to do it. And even for you guys in Arizona and Florida, APS just announced a $460 million rate hike this year. We'll be raising rates between 11 and 13% every single year. So they can get solar without even having to buy it. They just switch utility companies. You know, or Florida, you know, you've seen Duke Energy and Florida Power and Light and Tampa Electric, double-digit increases every single year. You know, even in a place like Utah where Toby and Mike are at. I mean, Toby and Mike Roberts, City Creek, I mean, they multi-billion dollars in fundings every single year for the last 26 years. They were some of the biggest doubters of the solar industry, and now, you know, they bought in and now own part of the company with me. So if the move's coming, we're here to help you guys in any way possible. I mean, we're getting close to 8 figures in our tech alone. It's only going to get better over time. And if you guys do have any questions, everybody is willing to help you guys out. Even other LOs. I mean, like I said, Chris and Peter were on the phone for an hour the other day. They never even knew each other, just sharing best practices. So we're super excited to have you guys on this. If you guys haven't sent in a CSV file yet, make sure to send that over to Austin. Or two, we're going to also, everybody on the call, we're going to be sharing all the marketing flyers, shows you how to submit everything. And we're really excited for you guys to be using that EcoSmart, get in front of those agents. If you need a deck to teach in front of agents, I've sent it to a bunch of you guys. Just send Austin an email, austin.roberts@soarenergy.com. He can share that deck with you guys. And like I said, we just appreciate your time today. And we'll see you guys all in 2 weeks. And if you need anything else, just reach out to us.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks again, Chris. Appreciate it, brother. Chris Lamm fucking crushed that. He fucking crushed it.
Yeah, that was amazing. Did we get that recorded? Do you send that out to everyone?
Yeah, I can send that out to everybody too, so I get the recording of it. Or actually, I think Michaela, either me or Michaela do. But yeah, I mean, Chris and Pete just fucking crushed that.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go back and listen to it. I want to make notes so that I can start to teach people how to make this work like they have.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, because I think that's just key. And I mean, people are fired up about it. That's what we just need to do. We need to keep these calls, best practice calls from guys that are kicking ass.
You know, I also think we should snippet some of these and make them social media videos.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a great idea. Yeah.
So who do you have something?
Beto can do that. Beto's coming. Beto's moving here on May 1st to be my full-time in-house videographer for me personally.
Damn.
So yeah, he's leaving his house. So we're gonna do that, and then I'm spending like 30 grand out of my own pocket to build out this podcast room, and he's gonna run that for me. And then we're gonna rent out his services to other people so I can recoup some of that 30 grand I'm gonna pay. So we'll have him full-time doing whatever we want us to do here. So that'll work out good.
That's
So
fabulous. Yeah, send him this video right away, and let's see if we can get a few snippet pieces that are like teasers.
yep.